basically, what we are going to be doing with Mastermind and with Big Bang for Business is, think about it this way. We call it the Intel Inside. We have a process whereby you can see specifically what that structure of ideas is. It's almost like the DNA molecule that is associated with your brand or your desired outcome. And from there, what we will do is we will build ideas that are on the basis of things that are emotionally insightful, as opposed to what your competitors are doing, or what the consciousness that went into creating the problem says you should do, etc. So we don't have time for me to get into all the details of the process, but I'm going to wrap it up here by telling you, as you walk through life now, as you look at what is and is not successful in the marketplace, such as the upcoming election, which is a great laboratory for us, and you look at the advertising and the positioning and the messaging and etc., look at it mimetically and say to yourself, is there a set of ideas inside this that has a natural tendency to replicate, that is a natural appeal? It's sort of like writers who write great pop songs. They just know the lyrics and the melodies that we just can't get out of our heads. It's the Beatles or the Lady Gaga phenomenon. Look at things mimetically and go, is there a meme here? Is there something that I have this feeling it's going to go viral, or it's going to spread, or it's going to be repeatable? And if you don't get that feeling, quite apart from whether you work with us or not, don't do it. In other words, apply the mimetic test to everything you do. Tell your teams, your groups, what is a meme, and you can go to our site and see it, or we'll send you information. Now look at everything you do and say, is there something in this that has a self-repeating quality to it, where it's part of a larger formula that people are going to want again and again and again, even if they don't know it?
I just want to create a little bit of context, because we've spoken about Big Bang for Business, and Warren has spoken about the whole mimetic issue and the whole issue around the structural mapping. I just want to provide context of how these two things work together. The structural mapping process identifies a level of information that comes out of the subconscious, and you know, Juan unfortunately didn't have time to talk about the process of how we get that out, and that's a separate discussion that we can have with people. But what the subconscious does, it provides this underlying story, and we know that sort of 85% of all communications and thought processes happen in the subconscious, and it only goes to the conscious when we start rationalizing it. So what Big Bang for Business really is it takes this huge pile of information that we're able to draw out through the structural mapping process, and we have a secondary process called the business sales and marketing audit that draws out of the same team that does the structural mapping, and that provides information at the conscious level. So we have a pile of information at the subconscious level, we have a pile of information at the conscious level, and what Big Bang does is it collides those two bits of information together, which results in Big Bang. And that's really what we're talking about in terms of the overall Big Bang for Business process, is it ultimately leads to, excuse me, explosive, new, creative thinking. Thinking that you were not able to do yourself if you just look at the subconscious piece or you just look at the conscious piece. But it's when those two things are collided together that creates this creativity and this dramatic insight in your thought processes. So ultimately, what that creativity does, it creates new answers for you, and ultimately leads to breakthrough strategies. And that's what Big Bang for Business is all about.